Hello, friends, and welcome to Not All the Things. This is a space for success driven, mature women of color where we share tips and strategies for work life commitments, work life balance, and wellness and wine. And today I'm excited because we are going to have a wind down Wednesday conversation. And so, what do I mean by that? We're going to talk about wine and how wine is a part of our wellness journey. I really love wine and it's grown over time, my love and my understanding. And I want to introduce you all to my friends who are part of a wine club called Make Wine With Us, which is where we go and we create our own wines. We are winemakers, and we have been doing this for quite a number of years. And so I just want to bring them in probably on a monthly or bi-monthly basis for us to talk about wine and not be so intimidated by the fact that there are all these different kinds of wines out there, and sometimes people don't feel like they know what they like. But today we're going to talk a little bit about what our experience has been in our wine club and how it really has brought us into a special community. So if you are a wine drinker, please go get yourself a glass, red, white, bubbles. If you are not a wine drinker, that is fine. Feel free to just join in the shenanigans with us and enjoy the conversation for today. So let's get started. Today I have my special crew, my stumbling fairies for this wind down Wednesdays. And so I would like to bring them into the space and just have a conversation about our wine club that we are a part of. So welcome in my friends, my stumbling fairies. All right, let's see. Here they are. I'm going to ask them to say hello and introduce themselves. We do have one fairy that is missing, so we're going to give her a little shout out too. All right. Alex, you want to go first?
Hey, Dr. D, how are you? So happy to be here, enjoying some good wine that we've made
Yes. Yes.
and engaging in conversation. Thank you for the invite.
Thank you for saying yes, sister. Hey, Gigi.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm always happy to be with you guys and to talk about wine.
Yes.
My two favorite things.
Yes, I agree. I agree. And Kristen.
Hey, yes. Hi, Davia. I'm Kristen, and I've been a part of the Stumbling Fairies since the beginning. And I have to say, it's been uh, just amazing all along. So, cheers to the Stumbling Fairies.
Cheers to stumbling fairies.
Cheers.
I don't know. Are we going to actually have an opportunity to tell people how we gave ourselves that name, or should we leave that for the end?
Let's see if it comes up.
Let's see if it comes up. Well, as you heard, we are part of Make Wine With Me, and that is a wine group, a winemakers club. And in that club, we actually get to make our own wines, and we have been doing it since 2014. Is that right? About
Yeah,
2014? Oh my gosh, it's about 10 years already. That's a lot of
Oh
wine.
my goodness.
It's our anniversary.
It's our it's
Wait,
our
we need to
wine
celebrate that.
anniversary. Oh, that's right. We should absolutely do that. So at this wonderful wine group, we start off with actually we start off tasting so that we can figure out which grapes we would like to have, and then from our tasting we move to we go to what, do we go to press first or do we go to crush? Oh no, we go to crush.
rush.
Trust.
We go to crush first. So yes, we get the wines, the grapes come in, and they come in actually from either California, from South Africa, or from Chile, and depending on what we choose. And from that, we decide as a group, which is not easy to decide because there's about 10 of us inside of our wine barrel, which wine we're going to make. And so this year we're making a Pinot Noir, which we're really excited about because we've been talking about making a Pinot for a while, but have not. And so once the grapes come in, there's this whole destemming, this crushing, this destemming process. And there's a machine that actually does it. We're not actually doing a lot, but we are cleaning out the leaves and we are putting it into the machine, and then it's getting rolled through that machine, and you'll see some B-roll, so you'll be able to see what I'm talking about. And then from that, there's this press process. Well, it sits for about, what is it, like a week, you guys?
Yeah.
A
It's about
week,
a week, and he adds a little
1 week.
yeast to it, and then we get to come back within a week and we do the actual press. And everyone asks us, do we press with our feet? And the answer is no, we do not do the I Love Lucy pressing, but we do use this machine, and we do some hand pressing, and that's pretty cool. And then from there, from that, the juice goes into does it go straight into the barrel from
barrel.
then?
It
It goes
goes
straight into
straight
the
into the barrel.
There's a little bit of cleaning of the barrel, but I'm
There's a
assuming
process, yeah.
there's a
Yeah.
We
process
have to
around
do this
that.
whole process of cleaning out the barrel each time we create a new wine, and with salts and other materials, and turning the barrel and scrubbing the barrel,
And
and yeah,
steaming.
And
We
steaming, that's
steam that
also,
barrel. That's our
steaming it,
pressing
yeah.
process, really.
yes,
Steaming that barrel, turning that barrel, and making sure that any residue from any previous wines that we've made is out of that barrel
yes,
before we put the juice from our crushing phase.
yes. And then there is this wait period, almost like we're waiting for this newborn child. Takes about 9 months
9
for
months.
us to actually bottle, which is my favorite part of it. But along the way, we actually taste. And so we'll go in maybe 3 times, and we go into the space, and we'll taste it in process. And it has a different taste every time. And we're always wondering, is it going to be good? Are we going to like it? And honestly, even when we get to bottling, I'm never sure until maybe a month after bottling if
You're,
I'm
you're
going to
never
like it. I
sure.
think it's because we taste so much at the beginning that you're just not sure what it's going to be like at the end. But
That tasting process is just so
yes,
interesting, right? Because we see how that wine is going to evolve. And we know that the grape is young and we still have to wait for that
yes,
process, that
yes,
fermentation process to complete. But we're always satisfied in the end.
we are. I
We
think,
have held a good record
I was about to say,
with
I
Yes.
think
wines.
out of these 10 years, I'm not sure if there's any bottle. Well, there might have been some bottles. We should talk about that. Some flavor palettes that were too strong for some of us. Speaking about myself,
Yeah,
but overall, I think we have a pretty strong record.
Good track record, yeah.
we
Yeah,
definitely do. I
we do.
think absolutely. Any mix with that Merlot, that is usually what you enjoy.
Oh yes,
That's on the sweeter side or less
yes,
dry.
yes,
That's always questionable, but it works out in the end. It works out in the end.
absolutely, absolutely. So out of the process, is there a particular part of the process that is a favorite of yours, or the one that stands out for you the most?
I don't know about that, but I do think, just going back to that tasting process, the interesting thing is that for me is that we're tasting grapes from the previous year that have already been made. So we really don't exactly know how our grapes are going to be. We're really more picking out like a
Flavor.
type of
Mm-hmm.
grape
Mm-hmm.
without being able. So that's always like kind of a mystery. But I think we've gotten pretty good at knowing throughout the process how the wine is going to kind of turn out at the end.
Yeah.
I think we've made some amazing wines. Um, I don't know. I mean, that's a really hard one, Davia. Like, what part do we really like to do? I like the pressing because I love when we get to taste that wine like before it ferments and you really
Yes.
get to taste the flavor of the grape, which is a whole different profile than
Yes.
actual wine.
Yes.
But it is a little physical. I mean, it's all right. The machine's doing it, but we have to we have to like dive into this huge vat of
Right.
grape mixture with these
Right.
buckets and
Right.
get it out, put it in the machine. So, but I do like that part of the process. I think that's just like the very beginning where you kind
Mm-hmm.
of get an inkling of, wow,
Mm-hmm.
what did we actually pick out here?
I agree with you. I actually like the pressing part. I
The
like
wait, you like the pressing or the crushing?
The
Because the
crushing.
No,
crushing is when
pressing.
we're putting it into the machine and it's separating, and then we get it into the barrel, and then we're tasting
when
the
do
Yes.
we
actual juice. That's the
yeah,
That's
when do we
crushing.
taste the juice? And
that
the
was
Yeah,
juice
No,
today.
that's
that's
the
the
is
crushing.
no.
The
that's
Wait,
is
the
the
crushing.
juice is so
crushing.
sweet.
That's
Yeah,
what
but
we
the
just did
crushing is
today. We crushed and we tasted.
that's the crushing.
Oh,
Yeah, that's the
I
crushing.
missed the tasting.
No,
That's what
no,
happened.
I'm talking about the pressing when that juice is
Yeah.
coming out of the
Yes, when it's
bottom
coming
of
We
it.
down.
Like,
tasted
I
then too.
yeah.
yes,
And
we
then
taste
the
again.
hose is going into the
Yes, yes,
barrel and
yes,
we're kind of tasting it.
yes.
And then all during the pressing process, like from the beginning to the
Yep,
middle to the end, it
yep,
like all has this different flavor profile to it. And then when you get to the very, very bottom of the barrel pressing, it seems like that's sort of the sweetest part, or I don't know, the most complex part maybe is the right word.
yeah. Listen, here's what I know. I like it every step of the way. That's what
I
I
like the
know.
laughs. I like the laughs. That's
Yeah,
it.
no, the
We go
best
for the
part.
entertainment.
Oh yeah,
I have to
that's
say,
funny.
I love every part of the process
Right,
because we do get to see or taste how our wine is evolving, and we always get into the back and forth, like, are we sure we made the right
right, right,
decision,
right, right.
and where are we? And then we have to remind ourselves, yeah, this is going to be good, because remember, I mean, and as Gina said before, right, we taste something in August, but
Yes.
from the year before, but we don't know what the weather or the
Right,
climate or how those
right,
grapes are going to be affected, the
right.
grapes that we actually are getting in the incoming year that we're going to use for our wine. But I really enjoy the bottling because we get to be creative with our
Yes,
labels. It's a
yes,
Yes.
big event. When the kids were
yes,
younger, we'd bring the kids. They were
yes,
working, putting the
yes.
labels on our bottles, washing out the bottles,
Yeah,
corking, just that entire process. And we're in community, right? So
yes.
we're talking and we're eating and we're sharing and we're goofing around. And then we get to bring it home, but then we're like, but we can't open it yet. We have to wait maybe another month or two till it's
Yeah,
out
Till it's
the
settled.
so that's
Yeah,
always
yeah.
that's always
absolutely. I
interesting,
love
right?
to,
You're like, we
yeah,
want
and
to
we
open it
kind of, I'm sorry, Kristen. Did you say something?
Oh, I don't think it was me, but I do. I do want to say that from beginning to end, what I love about the process is that it's very mechanical, very tactile, very close. Human being to wine, right?
Mm-hmm,
It's
mm-hmm.
not like some abstract thing where we're dumping grapes into the destemmer. Where you know,
Yeah,
crushing grapes
right.
like that. When we bottle, the corking is so physical,
Yeah.
and I think that and that's why it's great when our kids were younger that they were involved because every step of the way feels very close to the wine, and it makes
I
it
love that.
special.
I love that. I love the idea of it being so close because it's also like our connection to the grape, even though it's traveling to get to us, but our connection to that process and then the connection to each other and the community. We're always in community when we're doing this. And I feel like that's what's so special about the entire process and that we've been able to not only grow our understanding of the wine and the winemaking process, but of our relationship and our family and friends. And so I love the community that this has afforded us. It's just deepened our relationship more than anything because we've had a
And I like,
friendship before.
absolutely. And I also like that we've kind of developed these little traditions around the wine. Like, for instance, just in error, one time when we were bottling and putting on the labels, Kristen accidentally put on one upside down. So we kind of adopted that, and now every time we bottle and label, we all have to make one bottle with a label upside down, and then that's the bottle we drink with each other. So we always
Absolutely.
hold that one off. to make sure that we share that in our little community.
Yes, and
Yeah.
our little side community when we have some times to kind of be with each other. I think that's awesome for sure.
I love how we hold on to our bottles, particularly me, right? I'm always like, I'm not giving this wine away. And then I'm making my wine and I go places and I'm bringing it. I'm bringing it as a birthday gift and
Absolutely.
very proudly saying, this is like my original five Stumbling Fairies wine that we make. And folks are like, what? That you make wine? What do you mean? And
Yeah.
yes, I make wine with my girlfriends.
Yes.
And so I like sharing that. I think the hardest part though was the day I was bringing a bottle over to a friend here in Teaneck, and then I dropped the bottle on the sidewalk. And so there was
Ooh,
a,
I didn't know about that.
No.
yeah, I think you did. We lost one bottle, then had to come out and like get the cleanup going.
Oh
But
no.
that was one baby that was gone.
That
It
listen,
hurt.
Mhm.
that is a rare occurrence. We have been very good at holding and also sharing. I mean, we do always say that we're going to keep, we tend to make a case or a case and a half each. Do you all remember how many, is it 20 cases that fit inside a barrel?
A full
Yes.
barrel is
Yeah.
20 cases.
A
It's
full,
probably a little more, but Make Wine with Us keeps some in storage.
right.
But for us, it's either half a barrel, the 10, or a full barrel, which would be 20.
Yeah. And it just all depends on what we're choosing to purchase. We could purchase more, but we tend to each purchase probably a case, maybe a case and a half. It also depends on what we're making. We're never really sure, but it's usually been really good, and so having a case it's been great. There was a time, I think during COVID, that we actually ran out of wine because it was COVID, and we all were like, "Oh my gosh, we need wine." And I think I like took names and went.
You picked it up.
Yeah, I went over to Make Wine with Me and picked up some additional cases and dropped it off at each person's house because we had ran out of wine, which is a rare thing for this group to run out of wine. I have to say, really
And do
funny.
you remember, like, we opened, one of us or two of us, Kristen, I think, and I
Kristen opened it.
had some, and we were like, this one, it doesn't taste too great. It's a little off. And then we called them and we're like, we're bringing back the wine.
Yes,
We're bringing
because we
back
need
this
new
varietal.
wine.
We need a different
We
wine.
need
I think
better
I had
wine.
already had a bottle. But then
Yes,
But
they just said, they replaced it, even the one that I had. Mm.
yes, it's true.
They
No,
did.
we've
it's
gotten some amazing wines though there, like, 'cause, as because we're winemakers and we go and
yes,
taste wine, we can buy just wine that they happen to have.
yes,
And it's really interesting because, when you hit on good years of wine,
yes,
it's just nice to be able to go taste it and say, yeah, I'll take a case of this, or, I've
yes.
gotten some really good stuff.
Yeah. Let's
I
talk
mean,
about
even
that.
the ports. Remember when we did the port tasting?
Oh,
There
Oh
were
my
right,
like
right.
goodness,
6 different types of port
the
that were
ports
Oh
were
also
gosh.
delicious.
By
amazing.
the end of that,
Right.
Yeah, the ports were so strong. They were so delicious, and they're not like a 20, like 10 year, but were they 15 year? They were long. They keep them for
They
a
were
long
long. They
time.
were
They were
longer
long,
reserve.
long
Absolutely.
reserve, and so when you have them, they are really rich, really strong, really full, really sweet. I actually like a sweeter profile more than these ladies. I like a fruit base. I like raspberries and currants and all those berries. And everybody has a different palate. I think I have the sweetest palate out of my friends, for
yeah,
Absolutely.
sure.
I can attest to that.
Yes, and I also don't
yeah.
like dry, which people always say, "Well, how do you know what you like what you like?" Like that's just there's no real. Maybe there is some science to it, but what we have found is what is it that you like, and once you know your profile, that's what you tend to lean into when you purchase things. So, what has been what has been a favorite wine from Make Wine with Us that we've made together? You all have a favorite or a go
I
to? How
really
about a go
liked,
to? How about a go to? If not a
I liked the
favorite,
Mont, right. I liked that Montepulciano. I
oh,
know
I
that
did
you
too.
did.
I
Luciano's
did not
delicious.
like the
I
Montepulciano.
like,
Tell me why.
But
Tell me why you liked it. What about it
it
did you
had a
like?
lot of body to it. I mean, I was like so into those Amarones for a while because
Yes,
that's like the
yes,
brandy of wines. But
yes.
I think it had a lot of body to it, and I like that about it.
Right. It was full. It was strong to me. It was
It was
very
strong,
strong.
I know. I like the strong stuff.
Yeah. That
I
was an
mean, but
Italian
alcohol,
grape, right?
but the content
Yes,
of alcohol is the same.
I don't know.
It's
I
not
thought
in
just
the
that content,
Amarone.
not in the
No,
Amarone. It's much
no.
stronger.
No.
It takes
the
double the amount of
Bucano is
grapes to
not
make a bottle of
strong.
Amarone.
Say it again, Gina.
It takes double the amount of grapes to make one bottle of Amarone. It's a little
Did
bit
we
more
make that?
expensive to make.
We did we make an Amarone?
No, we
No.
didn't make it as a group, but Gina
No.
bought a case.
Ah, okay.
Which I no
More,
longer
I think
have any left.
on more than one occasion, she has purchased a case
Yes,
of Amarone
I
for the
have.
road.
All
Yes.
right. All right.
Um,
Alex, how about
I
you?
think I think a wine that we've all thoroughly enjoyed is the Cab
Cab Franc.
Franc.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The
I
Cab
think
I
Cab
that
Franc.
That
agree.
was
really, yeah, and
there
it's
was
interesting
go ahead, Alex.
because
Yes.
that was the wine when we first got to make wine with us. That's the first wine that I tasted that came in the gift set, right? The
Yes.
promo. It was a
Mhm.
Cab Franc, and I tried it and I said, "Ooh, this is delicious." And
So I had the Merlot.
and then we went to make the wine, and because that was a raffle win, right? I couldn't do the Cab
Yeah.
Franc. I had to either do a cab, a Cabernet Sauvignon, or a Merlot, and then I opted to do the cab. But then the next time around, we did the Cab Franc.
Right. Right. I will
Yeah.
say that I remember doing that Merlot and I just thought, oh, yes. So the Merlot that you buy in the store is very different, I would say, than the Merlot that we make. Because I don't know, I feel like our grapes are very pristine and clean and they have a full body to them. And so I think I was expecting it to be a little bit sweeter. I don't know, a little bit lighter. And so it was good, but it was not as good as that Cab Franc and that
That Cab
at
Franc
all.
was
The Cab
delicious.
I think
Franc,
we're
I mean,
still talking
hands
about the
down.
Cab Franc.
Yeah,
yeah.
hands down, that's been
Yeah,
one of
we're
the
still
best.
talking about
Yeah.
that.
And
And
I
we've gotten,
find
I
too, like
mean, we
that
made it,
one,
I
like
think,
other
12.
people like the Cab Franc too. That was popular, like as a giveaway wine too,
Yeah.
Yeah,
not
yeah.
just for us.
And we've
Kristen, how
made
about
it
you?
two times. On two occasions, we've made that varietal. So the other thing that we've learned, right? Oh, look at you. Oh,
I'm having our Malbec. What do you have?
I'm having our Amador Bordeaux from California.
Nice.
Oh,
What are you having, Kristen?
I'm drinking the Chilean Malbec.
Ooh,
The Chilean
nice.
Malbec. And Gina's not feeling
That's
well today, so
delicious.
she is
no, I'm
drinking
just getting over
a
cold,
little cold,
so
but she's drinking an
no
elixir.
wine for me. Yes, I'm taking care of myself in other ways.
So
Good.
As you should.
the Chilean Malbec is the one that I gifted to one of the members that later joined in on our barrel. And she tried that Chilean
Mm.
Malbec and absolutely loved it and said, "Ooh, I want in on this."
Right,
And then started making wine with us.
right. Yeah.
So that was, yeah,
About how many
Yeah.
people,
that's another hit.
yeah, how many people you think that we've given wine to that have been like, I want in.
Oh,
Well, that how many people in that crew that kind of came
all
aboard?
the other
We,
half of our barrel.
I
yeah,
know.
we have
So
what?
it's like
Maybe
another
another,
six people. I
there's
don't
like
know,
Yeah,
another six,
six.
there's another
another
six folks
six
who are part of our
people.
barrel. Yeah, for sure. Kristen, I didn't
Right?
hear
So the
you say,
rule is if you like the wine, then it's good wine because you like it, so
absolutely,
you drink it.
Oh,
absolutely,
That's
so
it. It's
absolutely.
good for
It's
you.
fascinating. It's fascinating that like it's not just us, right? It's not just the stumbling fairies, but we have a whole another group of people that are in this with us, and how we come up 2 times a year. We taste wine and we come up with what we're going to make as a group.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And for the most part, I feel like we've been winners in it. Sometimes, but you're talking about like 12 people or
Right.
15 people that have to agree on a particular, whether it's a Pinot Noir or a Malbec or whatever. Um, and that's also the sense of community because it's a sometimes it's a compromise. Sometimes
Absolutely.
it's pretty easy.
Yeah.
We're all like, oh yeah, that was great. Let's go with it.
Right.
But it's definitely like a group
A
dynamic
lot of
that
bullying that goes on there.
Yes, there is a little bit of
But
bullying for those of
yeah.
but
us
wait,
who have a
Kristen
different
is
kind of
very
palate. I have a light palate,
Hmm.
I will say.
Yeah.
Kristen is very instrumental a lot of times in the process of choosing, I have
Yes.
to say, because
Yes.
she usually comes up with good methods of blind tasting. So I
Oh,
think
that was
she
fun.
challenges us to choose
Yes.
well.
Yes, it is not easy to whittle
It's not.
down to one varietal. And the day that we taste, we probably taste 10 to 15, maybe more. And we try to keep track of what we are interested in, and things move to the top and we go, okay, wait, no, this is good. And then everybody tastes it and we say, well, do you like it, did you like it? And then from there we like dwindle down to maybe five, and then we try to get it down from five to three. And then we go into second week and we taste again because we cannot make a decision on
It's
which
hard.
grape. And again, we are tasting the grapes, like you said, from the year before. So we have no idea what it's going to be,
Yeah. It's
when we
definitely a
actually.
gamble.
It's a
It's
gamble, but it's been a good one.
but we're winners. We've been
We are
We
winners.
winners all the
are.
time.
I
Yeah.
love I love when we find when we maybe are not able to make it together to a tasting, and then it's like, here are the three. I need you to go next week for a
Yes.
tasting
And taste
and check it out
these.
and tell us, because this
Mhm.
is, we're our vote goes for this. Can we do this?
Right, right.
Can we do? What about the year that we had that wine in the barrel and we decided to do the reserve?
Oh, that
That
was
Oh,
a
was the one that
Chilean
we had
wine.
to compromise.
That was
We
hard for
decided
me.
to leave it in the barrel for another 9 months before we bottled it.
I was
yeah,
really
you weren't
not so
happy.
happy. I was
Yeah.
not so happy. I mean, that wine was so good. Like when we were coming close to the end, and I was like, come
Hmm.
on, let's bottle it. And the group was like, no, this wine is going to be really delicious. Let's leave it. Luckily, we had made something else that year. So
Yeah.
we were
Yeah.
going to still have wine, because I was like, what are we going to do if I have to leave this wine for 9 more months? But when we got that wine, oh, that reserve, that Chilean that was
That
delicious.
was
I don't think I
delicious.
gave one of those bottles away. Maybe one. I
That
We
really
was
should
don't.
do
delicious.
that again next May. We should do that Chilean Malbec. We haven't done that in a while.
But
Wait,
as
we
a
just did a
reserve or not
Chilean
as a
Malbec.
reserve?
Not as a
No, just
reserve.
I
do.
was
We
like,
should do it not as a reserve and see if we made the right decision.
but we just did a Chilean Malbec.
Oh,
We
we
Yeah,
did.
did?
We
that's
can do a
Oh,
yeah.
Chilean
sorry.
Bordeaux.
Sorry, that's gone. Oh, it's gone
You're
already.
finished.
Get it
That's
there.
why. So let's talk a little bit about, we can talk about whatever, to be quite honest, but how we feel having this opportunity to be in community and to engage in this winemaking club is a way to offer us wellness. Because most of my conversations have been around either work life balance or wellness and mental health. And I feel like this wine group is still wellness to me. It is me having an opportunity to be with sisters and to be in community and to do something that I love and I enjoy. And I feel like I'm still learning and my palate is still growing. And so for me, the wellness is within the community that we've created. And the opportunity to just laugh and giggle and just have a good time, and have a moment that's not work related. There are times when we get into some heated discussions around politics and other things, but for the most part, we're just having a good time with each other. And so I would love to hear from you all about where the wellness lives within this group.
I mean, if
Anybody?
I can say that, aside from the red wine being the healthiest alcoholic beverage, loaded with antioxidants,
Indeed.
healthy heart benefits, uh, that really it brings us together. It's our time to be intentional about having that moment where we're bringing our food and bringing our friends and making sure that we make it, because we look forward, as much as we look forward to tasting our wine and making our wine, I think we look forward, or at least I do, to just being able to share in the experience with my sister friends.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Indeed. I love that. Thanks.
Yeah, it's definitely a great shared experience. I agree. You know,
Indeed, it is. Kristen, you were going to say something?
I definitely feel like it gets us out, first of all, right? It's sometimes it's like
Dave,
a Sunday
hold on.
afternoon. Um but
That's
sometimes
Gina.
it's like at odd strange times to get together with friends. And I think that when you come together with your besties and your sister friends and also their friends around food and
Hmm.
wine, it really creates, it's just so easy to feel so comfortable with the people that are in the room and yourself, and enjoy that time. So I think, work life balance. Absolutely, because you find a way to kind of escape from your thoughts about work and do something completely different. And wellness, yeah, it's a mind body, relaxing experience. So I think all along this has been a real value to my life. That's and then you end up with a great bottle of wine whose label you made yourself.
Listen, on top of it all, you've made the
On top of
label,
it all.
right? And you have some wine to go back to and cheers and
Yeah.
remember and all
Yeah,
that
and
good stuff.
every time you open a bottle of wine, or every time you go back to that bottle of wine, you go back to that time when you
That
crushed,
feeling.
when you pressed, when you
Yeah.
bottled. So
Yeah.
it's not like bottle of wine from the store, like, oh yeah, this is good, or this whatever. No, this has meaning.
Yes.
So it's extra interesting right there, you know.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
You know, Davia, you said earlier just like how many, and coming to this, to the experience, like how many different people have tasted our wines. I'm just thinking how many different people from different walks of
Yeah.
life,
Yeah.
right? Just different friends of
Yep.
different ages that we've invited to come to a tasting and
Yes.
come and sit around and then just experience. We experience them, they experience each other. So
Absolutely.
really about bringing people together, if only for that moment, around something that we're creating,
Absolutely.
right? Around something that we're very proud of, because we're each very proud of our wine. And I have friends who will then say, oh, this is Alex, who's my friend, and she makes wine. Here's the bottle she brought. Did you bring a
Yeah.
bottle of your wine? Like if we're doing something or getting together, right? We pour it into the decanter and get ready for it. So
Yes.
it's a great wellness, right? It's a good
It
feeling.
is a good feeling. It's a good wellness. And
Mhm.
it's also a way for us to culturally connect. Anytime you can come together around food and drink and be in community and be in
Mhm.
conversation, there's this exchange and understanding of each other that's happening because we're in that space. And we've had so many different folks be a part of our group, and I
Mhm.
you know and I appreciate that our group is very multicultural. It's very
Mhm.
women of color, and that we invite other folks into it and just have a really good time with it. So I'm so excited that we, one, have been doing this for so long, and two, that we will continue to do it. And maybe when I do transition to Portugal, you all can come and do wine tasting with me in Portugal. That'd be
Can
so
we
much
Maybe
fun.
can
you'll
we
have to
talk
find a
about
place that
can
we can
we
make
talk a little
wine
bit
there.
can
Wait,
we
say it one more
talk a
time,
little bit
Gigi.
You'll
about
have to
how
find a
even
place. Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Alex.
no, no, go ahead, Gina.
No, I said you'll have to find a place that we can make wine there.
Yes. And I
And
bet
then we could do this. This would be amazing if we could do this in other places and we travel to make wine. I mean, they have to have venues like this. It can't,
it
can't
can't
just
just
be
be
here
here.
and can't just be in New
She'll start
Jersey.
it in Portugal. She'll get it started in Portugal, and then we'll go to her place, which will be Make Wine with D.
Oh
Oh my
yeah.
gosh, make wine with Z. That's a funny thought. But I'm not mad at that. I am not mad at that. We can put that all out
I'm
into the
in.
universe and we'll see how we can make that happen. But no, I would love for us to. I mean, my ultimate goal is that we all take some wine trips together and some of the sisters and folks who are watching would join us on these little wine excursions. But I am hopeful that folks will find some wine groups in their local community. And if they don't find a wine group, just find 5 friends to get together with or a few friends to get together with and just start tasting. I mean, everyone's always a little bit intimidated around wine. And I think the thing that I love about our group is we just drink what we want. We pick something and we say, and a lot of times we pick on the label. Let's just be really honest. We're
Mhm.
like, I don't know. We know the profile of certain flavors. So we know we like a Merlot or you like a Cab Sav or you like a Cab Franc. So we just go and we pick and we try with each other and we go, oh, I don't like this or I like this. And price points range. We
Mhm.
probably, I think our bottles would probably go for what, $12 to $15 in the store, would
Yeah.
you think? Or a little bit, I
Um,
guess it depends on the,
Maybe more,
Depends
really,
on the
I think it
sometimes.
varietal.
depends. I think it depends on the varietal, to be
I
quite
mean, I've
honest.
tried wine there that I've never even heard of, I have to
That's
say.
true.
When we go to those big
Yes.
wine tastings, that's
That's
kind
true.
of fun. But especially like those Amarones, I mean, some of the
Oh,
wines
those are
we've made,
expensive.
I have seen in stores for like, $30 and up a bottle.
Yeah,
Mhm.
no, the
So,
Amarones, the Brunellos, those are what I've
yes.
seen have been very expensive in
Even
the stores, like a
even the Cab
35.
Francs, because
Yeah,
that's what got me interested. Once I tasted that Cab Franc, I said, "Ooh, let me go to our local liquor store and see if I find some Cab
exactly.
Franc." And then I was like, "Whoa! All right, let's go back. Let's
Let's go
make this
back.
because yeah."
Yeah,
I
that's
think the
good.
other thing, I mean, it's opened us like Old Vine Zinfandels.
Yes, I've never had
We've
that
had
before.
blends of Old Vine
Right.
Zinfandel, Ruby Cabs,
Yeah.
where they've also been. I mean, we've created, and I think the next step for us, ladies, is we need to make our like pick our own combination of grapes
Mm.
that they may
Right.
not have there for us to taste and and just experiment and see what we can come up with, what two or
That would be
three grapes
great.
we can
Do
blend to come up with something
That's
new.
very
you don't think that's
interesting.
a little risky? An entire
No,
barrel of something that we're
I,
just creating?
no,
You
Maybe
love
we'll
to
I
have to
you
think
do
we
love
can
two
to
that
you
do.
year.
love to live on the edge though, Tia.
I think
You are
why
like,
not?
yes, let's go.
Why not?
I
I
think
think
with
we
a little
should.
research,
What's the worst thing that could happen? I
It'll be
mean,
good.
we'll we'll
We
drink
have
it.
more bottles to gift. We'll have more
that's
bottles to gift. We
that's
just got to
true.
make sure it has a
That's
great label.
That's true.
Um,
that's right. We'll
I
give
think the
that.
other thing that this experience has maybe also expanded for us is that I don't know about you ladies, but I feel like now wherever I travel to, wherever I'm going, I'm booking a wine
Oh
tasting or
yes.
going to some kind of vineyard. I mean, whether
Oh
it's
yes.
local, I
Oh
mean, look, we
yes.
found Temecula, here in California, and we all talk about Napa Valley. But
Yes.
then there I was like, oh, I'm in Temecula. Then you went to Temecula. Kristen's going to
Yes.
Temecula
Yes.
in a
Yes.
Mhm.
week. So that I mean, I was in Greece and I went to wine tasting in
Yeah.
Greece.
How about
They
you
they
went to
make
wine
wine in
tasting
Greece.
in Texas? How about that? That was
Wine tasting in
crazy.
Texas. I went to exactly. I did wine tasting in Texas.
And we've done wine tasting in the Finger Lakes in New York, which I
Finger
have to
Lakes.
say, I actually love those wines because those
They're
wines
sweet.
are so sweet because the Concord grapes are so sweet. And so I love them. So, yes, I think you're right, Alex. I
In
think this,
Canada, wine
oh,
tasting in
yes, the ice
Canada.
wine. Mm,
Yes, the ice wines and other wines, but yes, ice wine's too sweet for me.
I love those.
Virginia, done wine
Virginia,
tasting
there've
there.
been a lot of
So yeah,
tastings. Yeah, that's true. I mean, it absolutely has opened us up to continue to explore. And also, I don't feel that, I don't want to say threatened, but I don't feel like I can't find something that
Intimidated.
I'm going to like. I don't feel intimidated in any way. I'm just like, all right, I do know this profile, so I'm going to ask for a Cab Franc and let's see what else they have. And so
Yeah.
I think that's been, I mean, there's just so many benefits. Heart healthy,
Heart
sister
healthy.
healthy, community healthy, cultural exchange, and then a willingness to just try. And I feel like we need to just do that, live that way, just try it out,
Just live life.
just live life. All right, well, I would love to cheers you all. Cheers.
Always. Cheers
Oh,
Always
to
look,
10
Krista got
years.
to
done.
10
10
years
years,
and
to
That's
counting.
it.
10 years
10 years and counting of making wine together.
together. Well, thank you, ladies. I so appreciate you all, and
Same here.
looking forward
That's
to
good.
doing this again because there'll be another Wind Down Wednesday next month, and maybe we'll highlight some of our favorite reds, or maybe we'll do ports, or maybe we'll do some other mixtures. All right. Thanks so
Maybe
Thank you,
some
much.
Davia.
fairies.
Thanks for having me.
Yay.
Thanks for coming.
Thank
Thanks for
you.
being here.
Thank you so much.
Thank you all. Well, I am so glad. I hope that this was interesting for you all, and I hope that if you are not a wine drinker, that you'll be willing to try something out. And if you're interested, I will put in the show notes or the profile some information about Make Wine with Me, which is here in New Jersey. And you can also look in your local area. And again, even if you don't have a wine group that you can join in your local area, you can create this just like you create a book group. You can create a wine group and you can try some things out. It doesn't have to be all that complex. Just feel free to get together, be in community, and have some good wine. Cheers. Till next week. If this was interesting in any way to you, if you had a good time, if you had a glass, feel free to subscribe. Please click the like button and share with other folks who might find this interesting, and continue to think about not doing all of the things. Cheers till next week again.